Hello and welcome to Retain, Revise, or Retire. Today we're looking at hymns 106 through 110. So let's quickly go through our criteria. Increase faith in and worship of Heavenly Father and His Son Jesus Christ. Teach the core doctrine of the gospel with power and clarity. Invite joyful singing at home and at church. Comfort the weary and inspire members to endure in faith and unify members throughout the church. That last one's a really interesting one. I actually had a previous episode where I talked about uh, the song Glorious Things of Thee Are Spoken, and I rather like that song. I said to retain it. I had a German brother comment on it, and he made the point that might not be the most unifying song because of the musical setting. So if that song is kept, that we'd have to change the musical setting because people in Europe know that that's the German national anthem, that the music that it's set to. And he made the point, like, how weird would it be for you to have a hymn that was set to like the tune of "O Canada," like it was the another country's national anthem, but it was a hymn as well. So, uh, especially like for the other European saints who are not German, or even for the ones that are German, that's still a little bit weird. Like we took the Star Spangled Banner and like wrote a hymn lyrics for it. It would just be weird. And yeah, I agree. I don't think that is very unifying. So I'm going to revise my one on that one. Say, revise. So I could revise my revision. I would say that one needs to be revised. If the words are kept, needs to be put to a different tune, because it is going to be a global hymn book, and yeah, that just would be strange for the saints in, say, France and England and all the surrounding countries to sing something to another country's national anthem. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I love in the comments where somebody will point out something that I didn't think of, and it's a really really good point. So yeah, keep it coming. If you have an insight that I might not have landed on, please let me know because I want it to be a discussion. All right, let's jump right in. Hymn 106, God Speed the Right. Text by William E. Hickson. Music by Ernst Moritz Arndt. Sounds kind of like that sounds slightly German. probably is. God Speed the Right. Now to him not prayer ascending, God speed the right. In a noble cause contending, God speed the right. Be our zeal in heaven recorded, with success on earth rewarded. God speed the right. Little high, sorry. God speed the right. Yeah. I tend to begin things in keys that are much higher than they probably are because I'm definitely a tenor. Yeah, this one's interesting. It's very jaunty. It's got that 2/2 time signature. The dun 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 dun. Yeah, sometimes it's not sung fast enough. I agree. I definitely heard this one in church. It's. I think it's fun just because of those kind of the beginning things where everybody's in unison. That's a little bit interesting, right, in itself. The bum 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 is all in unison, and then it breaks into parts. Bum 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 bum, or whatever. It does the same, and then there's parts for the last two lines. So that musically, it's a lot of fun. So it does invite that joyful singing that we're talking about. Let's look at the other two verses and see. Uh, just is this a good text? Be that prayer again repeated, God speed the right. Ne'er despairing though defeated, God spare the right. God speed the right, and spare them, of course. Like the great and good in story, if we fail with glory. God speed the right. Kind of, I don't know, interesting. It talks about like, hey, even if we lose, we'll lose with glory. I mean, I guess it's talking about kind of like the mortal perspective. Like even if we lose in mortality, that um, we don't need to despair because we will ultimately win if we're righteous. But I don't know. I don't love that verse. Patient, firm, and persevering, Godspeed the right. No event nor danger fearing, Godspeed the right. Pains nor toils nor trials heeding, and in heaven's good times succeeding, Godspeed the right. See, I like that third verse a lot better. Be our zeal in heaven recorded, with success on earth rewarded. Yeah, interesting. They're fine enough words, and I think it's popular enough, at least in the United States, that it's one that people would still enjoy singing. I mean, it's not my favorite hymn text, but they don't all have to be this, complex theological treatise or or whatever. So I'm gonna go ahead and retain that one. So, but let me know what you think. Would you get rid of it? Who knows? All right. 107. Lord, accept our true devotion. Richard Aldridge, the text. Joseph J. Daines, the music. All right. I kind of heard this one, but I'm not as familiar with it, so I'm going to go ahead and turn on the accompaniment. Okay, I definitely heard this. Okay, so it goes. Lord, accept our true devotion. Let thy spirit whisper peace. Swell our hearts with fond emotion, and our joy in thee increase. Okay, I mean, that's nice enough. Never leave us, never leave us. Help us, Lord, to win the race. Never leave us, never leave us. Help us, Lord, to win the race. And kind of endured to the end, I guess. I finished my course, I fought the good fight, sort of idea. Help us all to do thy bidding, and our daily wants supply. Give thy Holy Spirit guiding till we reach the goal on high. Ever guard us, ever guard us. It's got kind of got this repeating motive in the second half, till we gain the victory, and then repeats. May we, with the future dawning, day by day, from sin be free, that on resurrection morning we may rise at peace with thee, ever praising, throughout all eternity. I don't know. It's a nice enough hymn. I don't know that I've heard it sung all that much. And to me, the words are just kind of like middle of the road. They're not really sticking out to me. So some of it's a little bit, I don't know, I won't say clunky, but it just doesn't flow as well as it might. Like, may we with the future dawning, day by day from sin be free. It doesn't, it doesn't flow all that smoothly. Like, you would never mistake that for someone just regularly talking. And a lot of hymns that I think have real sticking power try to avoid that. Where it can be poetic, but more of it sounds more like regular speech. This sounds a little bit more, I don't know, contrived, I guess. So I'm going to say retire on this one. Not that it's a bad song. Okay, The Lord is My Shepherd is 108. Text, James Montgomery, based on Psalm 23. It starts, The Lord is my shepherd. Thomas Koshat wrote the music to this version. Now, this is one where there are so many different musical settings of Psalm 23. This is only just one of so many. I mean, I've sung, gosh, I'd have to sit down and number them, because not only like this exact text, but also like variations of this text, like all things that are also based or are paraphrasing Psalm 23. They're all over the place in choral music. So, I don't know. Let's see. This version is, "The Lord is my shepherd, no one shall I know. I feed in green pastures, safe folded I rest. He leadeth my soul where the still waters flow." Yeah, I don't know. That being said, like I just said, I've done a bunch of different versions of this text, and I don't know if I love this setting. It's very, like, the melody is very kind of one note at a lot of places where it repeats the same note. Da 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 da. Like, it really, it stays on that B for the vast majority of notes, and that whole line for the soprano line are B. And then the next one, it goes up one tone, and the majority of the notes are C. Da 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 da. It's just me, and you may love this setting, and that's great. And there are things going on, like the alto part is actually a lot more interesting. The da da da, the Lord is my shepherd, no one shall I know. Like, it's kind of moving. But for example, one of the versions that I've sung with the tap choir is called Brother James' Air, and it's also a paraphrase of Psalm 23, there, where I love that the melody is just so beautiful. I'll say that for today is going to be my recommendation. I'm going to say on this one, revise. I want to revise it to another setting. And so, like, that's what I hope gets in the hymn book, is Brother James' Air. So it goes like this. The Lord's my shepherd, I'll not want. He makes me down to lie. In pastures green he leadeth me, the quiet waters by. He leadeth me, the quiet waters by. It's just, I don't know. I like it better. If you like this one, great. But I'm going to, like I said, I like to revise it. I'd like to see a different version of Psalm 23 in here. All right. 109. The Lord my pasture will prepare. All right, only 2 verses of this one, written by Joseph Addison. Whoa, he was born way back in the 1600s. And the music by Dmitry Bornyansky. Sounds very Russian. Okay, this one goes, the Lord my pasture will prepare, and feed me with a shepherd's care. Yeah. Yadam, da, 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 da. A very nice, like, kind of pastoral, calm sounding melody. It is actually quite a lot like the kind of it's Psalm 23. Actually, go down to the scriptures. It's also based on, you guessed it, Psalm 23. But I think it does a better job than the previous hymn in creating a more interesting melody. Though I will say one thing on here. I sung this a lot in choir, and some of the words are a little old-fashioned. Like, I had to go look up. For example, let's see. The first verse is pretty good. It ends with, "And guard me with a watchful eye. My noonday walks he will attend, and all my silent midnight hours defend." And that's really nice. Like, the Lord is always watching over you. When in the sultry glebe I faint. So the word glebe, Glebe. Gosh, I can't even remember. I've looked it up 3 times. because I just never use it anymore, right? Okay, so I'm talking to Google. Glebe. It says noun, historical. There's this it's old, folks, archaic. A piece of land serving as part of a clergyman's benefice and providing income. Okay. So apparently this guy is fainting in a sultry glebe. Cool. Can't say I've ever fainted in a sultry glebe, but everyone has their own experience. Okay, or on the thirsty mountain pant, to fertile vales and dewy meads. So once again, I have no idea what a mead is. My weary wandering steps he leads, where peaceful rivers, soft and slow, amid the cooling, verdant landscape grow. I do know. Verdant just means like fertile landscape, lots of green. Like we got the ver in there, like verde, like in Spanish, where the ver is like the green root. Okay, so I love the melody. I'm gonna say this one, revise. So I do like the melody. It's a nice setting of Psalm 23. But yeah, I like maybe write some new verses for it. Like maybe you can keep verse 1. As if you're going for unity or teaching the doctrine, it's just confusing, honestly. Like someone says, when in the sultry glebe I faint, or on the thirsty mountain pant, to fertile vales and dewy meads my weary wandering steps he leads. I mean, it's very poetic sounding, but are you actually going to understand what they're talking about? I mean, I wouldn't say I would have. A little dictionary help, and I don't think the rank and file member throughout the church would either. All right, finally, 110. Cast thy burden upon the Lord. Now, this is interesting because this is actually from an oratorio by Felix Mendelssohn. It's adapted from the Psalms, but it's from Elijah. It's a choral work I performed once with the Tab Choir. There's a lot of different little choruses that are part of this longer oratorio about the prophet Elijah, the Old Testament, and this is one of them. So that we have that, and it's only one verse, because it's not meant to be kind of your typical hymn where he goes back and forth from verse to verse. There's 4 different verses. It's kind of like what we would call through composed, where it just takes the text and it just keeps on going, one big long verse. I mean, it's very pretty though. I mean, it's Mendelssohn. Mendelssohn is one of the greats of Western music. So you at least want to give it a fair shake. The question here, though, is it, would this be better in the concert hall or better in the home or the Latter-day Saint chapel? That's my question. So let's take a listen. Cast thy burden upon the Lord, and he shall sustain thee. He never will suffer righteous to fall. He is at thy right hand. Thy mercy, Lord, is great, and like above the heavens. Let none be made ashamed that wait upon Sorry, I think I lapsed into my tender part. Like I said, we sang it not all that long ago. The whole oratorio, and this was part of it. It's beautiful, and it's got a nice message. Definitely shows its age too. I don't know. I don't know that it's often sung, at least in our congregations here in the United States. As much as I hate to do it, I'm going to say retire on this one. Just, I think it has a place in our worship, but it's maybe better as a special musical number, or part of the larger oratorio, unless in our official hymn book. All right, well, that's it for today. I already made my recommendation about a new song I'd like to see in there, just in the course. Brother James there. Who knows? We'll see, I guess. All right, thanks so much for watching, and until next time, keep singing. Bye.